Don't forget the ads feed the ducks, and the ducks we're raising this year we're donating to the local food banks. If you want to help out the Duck Adventure, the link below, 50 Ducks in a Hot Tub, you can buy one of these t-shirts. You can donate monthly, you can make one-time donation, and the most important thing you can do is like the video, and don't forget to share it, guys. Hello everybody and welcome to the Duck Adventure for August the 29th. I'm not doing much recording today because I'm trying to get a bunch of things caught up. But I had to show this to you guys because this morning when I let the ducks out, there's this little wild mallard that's been here since yesterday, and it spent the night in the pen with the ducks.
There she is. She's so cute. She's so confused. She keeps walking up and down the wire trying to get to the ducks. But the thing is that she's already flown over the wire twice. And she flies back in because she's eating grain. She's flying into the pen to eat grain. But she's got a leg band on. I don't know if we can get a view of it here. There, you can see the leg band. So she's tagged. She's probably part of that Ducks Unlimited program. But she's really confused. She keeps walking back and forth. But I was filling the water up this morning. Which, you know, there's the water right there, like it's what, 15 feet from the pen, and she flew out of the pen and landed right beside me when all the ducks were around me. I was actually quite shocked this morning when I let the ducks out and I looked in the pen and there's this little wild duck walking around, and you know, usually they take off as soon as you go near them. The wild ducks fly off, but this one's really calm. I think it's because just so many ducks here, and you know, I know one thing though, that my ducks get freaked out when it flies. When it flew out of the pen and landed, it freaked all the ducks out when it landed, and they were like all sort of like almost swarming it. It was really funny to watch. I wish I would have had the pivot heads on, but I swore today I wasn't going to record because I've got to get a whole bunch of things done. I've got to get my apples frozen today. I've got to process them before they get soft. I've had them in the basement, and I think I'm going to be either pulling carrots or beets today. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me. It's about 2 o'clock, and that little tiny duck is still here. The little wild mallard female. She was just standing beside one of my females, and the size difference is like David and Goliath's difference. But Doug just went running to the swamp, and it didn't even fly away. Actually, Doug ran within about 2 feet of it, and it just stood there and let Doug run right by it. It's so small. It's too bad it's not standing beside one of my ducks here, and you can actually, well, they're right there, look at that. It's tiny. Half the flock's at the lake, half is in the yard. Alright guys, we just had the most hair-raising hour here. I'm in the kitchen chopping apples up. All of a sudden the ducks are all freaking out in the yard here. My reaction is, you know, Doug takes off. Well, not my reaction, but Doug took off into the swamp. I came out onto the back deck, and there was 2 coyotes. Not one, but 2 in the swamp. Now Doug went after one of them. He dropped the duck. He had the duck by the head. You see the fresh blood. When Doug went after that coyote, he dropped the duck and he took off into the bush. But the other coyote already had a duck in his mouth and he went in the other direction. So Doug and I have been actually in the bush for the last 45 minutes. We've been trying to follow its trails. I went back at my neighbor's place, which I really shouldn't have, but I did. Because I was just so pumped and I was upset because, you know, it was like I saw him, and if I would have had a rifle instead of a shotgun, I could have nailed him, because they actually, the one that had the duck in his mouth actually stopped and turned and looked at me. It was a perfect shot, but it was just too far for the shotgun. Like, we're just way too far. Doug, come back! But Doug went after the one, and it just like hauled after him. But he dropped it, and but it's been pretty crazy here, guys. So I went from chopping apples to running through the bush with the shotgun chasing 2 coyotes. What an afternoon. But 2 of them, like, I couldn't believe it, like, and right in the swamp, like they were like right in the middle of the swamp. And when the ducks freaked, Doug just took off like a bat, like he knew something was wrong. And they were down at the creek hunting, and right now there's about 20 ducks right now that are on the lake. They're sitting in the mouth of the creek, waiting till the coast is clear, I guess, to come back. Doug keeps going down after it there, but one took off with a meal and the other one didn't, because I got the meal. But it's the craziest thing I've done yet. I'm not sure. It's like, oh man, I gotta go get Doug.
He's gone after the trail again, but 2 of them, you know, in broad daylight. I can't believe how much, you know, how brazen that is. Like usually they come in, you know, at the end of the day. They must be hungry today. I guess because the ducks haven't been going down to the creek the last couple of days, they were hungry, and that's why, you know, the coyotes came out right in the open like that. It was a rifle shot. It wasn't a shotgun shot. But I gotta go get Doug. He's taking off again on the trail. Oh, you look tired, Dougie. That was a major burst you just put on there. I got big problems, guys. 2 coyotes in broad daylight. I gotta keep the rifle by the door. Shotgun didn't cut it today. Isn't that a pretty looking duck? And not only is it pretty, it's big. I noticed that we've got a lot of really big, pretty ducks. They almost look like a Peking duck, but are like painted up like crazy. Unlike last year's pretty ducks that are had more of a frame of a ruin, this year's ducks seem to be all big. Well, not all of them, but most of them. But this one's gorgeous. But the reason I have the camera in the rain is I have to show you this. Okay, I'm playing with the future of the duck adventure here because it's raining and I've got the camera in the rain, but I got to show you this. The amount of ducks that have gone down here, it's like they got a death wish. Just look at this. And it's only been like 4 hours since we had 2 coyotes here. But honestly, I think the otters cause them more trauma than coyotes do. I think a lot of it, actually I'll move here a second, guys. Yeah, back to the otters here. I think it's because the otters attack from the water, and that freaks the ducks out more than being attacked above ground. I think the attack above ground, their brains, you know, have a hard time understanding, and the fact that Doug runs through the flock all the time, you know, they don't, you know, have that psyched out fear. I don't know. It's, but they certainly seem to be enjoying the water at the edge of death. Unbelievable, these guys. Well, I've got the rifle hanging right by the door, which I just got my tap and die set out because I'm going to mount a scope mount on my SKS. So I just had to make sure I had the right tap and drill, which I have the right tap, but I don't have a number 29 drill, so I got to get a 29 drill, which I got a hunch there's going to be no place in town. I'm going to have to order it online or something. I don't know. We'll see on Monday if I can't get one in town. But I'm going to put a scope on the SKS so I can smoke them. Because even the 22 today, guys, if I would have, instead of grabbed the shotgun, would have grabbed the 22, even at that range, I could have put a shell into him. I could have, because the way that second one turned and looked at me, like it was a broadside. He completely turned sideways. It was like all I had to do was aim for about, you know, 2 inches above his shoulders, and I would have plucked one right through his chest or into his chest, and he would have died. You know, it would have been a slow death, but he would have died. SKS is much faster. It's pretty well instant, but I need a scope because I'm just blind, man. I can't see with iron sights anymore. This is what you call a yard full of ducks, guys. Everybody's in the yard relaxing. A little sprinkling rain right now, so I've got to make this quick. And we've got some ducks over here eating. Oh, and there's Dougie, the coyote dog. Yes, Doug, I know. We've got to give you a bath here. Well, I'll shower shortly. Oh, you're really dirty. He's just filthy. I've changed the layout here for the bait station for the coyote tonight. So out of my bedroom window, there's the duck that he killed today. Right there. So I've got it chained up really good. I wrapped it all around its body so that he can't drag it away. It's attached to that cement block. So he's going to be standing right there. I am going to have to shoot through the wire, but it's not the end of the world. Chances of hitting the wire, well, there's probably about a 20% chance, but there's also 80% chance I'm going to hit him. This way I don't have to, you know, screw around trying to sneak up on him. Slide the door open, really quiet, whack, and the ducks will be freaking out because you know, they lose it when you know, he's there feeding or even around the pen, so he won't even hear the sliding door open. So I'm gonna have my supper, get ready, try to go to bed early, and get ready for Mr. Coyote to show up. Dougie's not too happy with me. I've made him stay out in the rain, and being a little princess when it comes to the rain, you know, it's crazy. He's running down in the mud there, jumping in the creek, but the rain, no, sorry. So I'm going to give him a shower here once I put the ducks away. I'll give him a warm shower tonight because in warm water he absolutely, completely cooperates. He'll let you spray him right down. But you do with, you know, cold water, he's not too cooperative. But you can do cold water during the day, but not at the end of the day. It's bizarre. But then again, I wouldn't want to have a cold shower at the end of the day either. And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends.